slow. Feel the ebb and flow. Please get sucked out to sea. I wonder where you are, 'cause you know I take these things kinda extra hard. This back and forth will take me anywhere I need to be. I can't need you anymore. Out there, you're on your own, and I can't need you anymore. They say all good things must end, but it's been too long since I've seen one again. It's over now, you played your role, now it's time to dissipate. May not get very far, let's be honest, I will never be a star. Holding on, take me anywhere it needs to be. Take a good look, 'cause I'll be gone. I can't need you anymore. Out there, you're on your own, and I can't need you anymore. Tell me I'm wrong, anything to make it easier. Keep your secret songs, 'cause I can't hear them anymore. Tell me when it's all done. Take these memories and burn them all, one by one. 'Cause it's not fair to keep holding on. I can't need you anymore. 'Cause you're out there, you're on your own, and I can't need you anymore. 'Cause it's not fair to keep holding on. Take your words back home, back way nice and slow. Feel the ebb and flow, but please get sucked out to sea. Steal my resolve. It may not absolve, but just let you go. Turn around, turn around, turn around again. Laugh at yourself. It's not half as bad as you thought it was. It's not an epic that you live. We can dress it up in red if that's how you want it. But you'd better get out, and I will still hold you back from the edge. Don't watch this for wanna make sound. I wanna change everything. I wanna know it, feel it, take it all. I wanna fix everything. But the hardest part of this is to take who you are and change what you need. Stuck in a place you're not meant to be. Take all your doubts, take it from me. You made your chains, now be your release. I wanna scream out, 'cause I can't stand this wait and see. 'Cause I've been way down, way too long. There's still a pulse in me. But the hardest part of this is to take who you are and change what you need.
Well, I might as well test my mic by actually saying something for once. Everyone can hear me.
Take all your doubts, take it from me. You made your chains, now be your release. Who let you down? Who let you down? There is no easy way out. Who let you down? Who let you down? Right words, the wrong time. A hard look at the hard line. Who let you down right now? There is no easy way out. Take who you are and change what you need. Stuck in a place you're not meant to be. Take all your doubts, take it from me. You made your chains, now be your release. Who let you down right now? Who let you down? There is no easy way out. Take your words back home.
Hello,
Back
Susan.
way nice and slow. Feel the ebb and flow. Please get sucked out to sea. I wonder where you are, 'cause you know I take these things kinda extra hard. This back and forth will take me anywhere I need to be. I can't need you anymore. Out there, you're on your own, and I can't need you anymore.
Okay. Hopefully you can hear me now, Susan. I had to change the settings for my mic and my speakers.
Since I've seen one again. It's over now. You played your role, now it's time to dissipate. May not get very far. Let's be honest, I will never be a star. Holding on, take me in. holding on. I can't need you anymore. 'Cause you're out there, you're on your own, and I can't need you anymore. 'Cause it's not fair to keep holding on. Take your words back home. Back way, nice and slow. Feel the ebb and
Okay, I
flow.
think I got it now.
Please get sucked out to sea.
Can you hear me now?
Yes. Okay. What happened was is that
Okay,
there were
great.
actually two things that related to the speakers I'm using now, and I chose the wrong one.
Oh, okay. Okay. Well, you had a 50-50 shot, I guess. So I just logged into the cavern.
Yep. Can everyone hear Susan? Okay, it looks like we're ready to go on the audio front.
Okay, great.
Cave Woman, the bot's not involved in the Myst 5 tours because we can't actually go there. So don't worry about not seeing the mirror bot. I mentioned earlier that Dubes is working on converting Myst 5 Ages so that they can be used with Live. However, that's something he's in the midst of and may not actually show up for a year or two if he's successful. So these tours are just going to have to be stream only. We won't be leaving the neighborhood.
I don't see you in the hood. Where are you?
I'm up against the wall behind you. Try looking down.
Lurking in the shadows?
Maybe. You should be able to
Am
see
I
the
looking
helmet
at you?
at the very least. No, you're looking off to the side. There you go.
Where? I don't... Are you sitting down?
Yeah. As I said, look down.
Oh!
I'm practically sitting at your feet.
I see Quicksilver. I don't see you. Am I the only one who doesn't see Larry in the hood?
Yeah, I think that that must be what. There's an occasional bug where you log in and won't see people, so you're probably suffering from that.
Okay, well, we'll tow out, I guess.
Yep.
Okay,
See you
you've got
back
it.
in a minute.
Bug.
Yeah. Quicksilver's asking if you have a cold.
If I have a what?
Cold.
Pulled. What's a pulled?
COLD. As in sick.
CUL.
COLD.
Oh, a cold?
Yeah.
Oh, no, I'm just froggy because I'm just allergies.
Oh, allergies. Okay. Same effect. But yeah, you were standing right next to me.
Do you record on YouTube all?
At the same time, yeah. You were standing right next to me, so that if I leaned over a bit, I could have bit you in the ankles.
Ankle biter. Oh, there you are. That's a neat trick you had. I see.
Let's see, what time is it? 7 minutes yet. That's probably just the way it's falling, Ro. Say the way my hair is falling out. That I'm not sure it can get much longer before I lose it.
It says you're a hippie.
Yep.
You know, Ro's dating himself and he calls you a hippie.
Yeah.
And I'm dating myself because I know what that is.
In my case, I'm dating myself because I can't find any women.
Oh, but bump swish. Ro, I think they call that follically challenged.
But I'm getting to the point now to where when I have to clean out my brush almost every time I fix my hair in the morning because
oh dear.
Yeah. Every other day anyway. Beatnik, my goodness, that's going back a decade.
Yeah, I think that's the 60s,
1950s.
isn't it? Beatniks? Or is it the 50s?
50s. Actually, I think they may have even gotten started in the late 40s. I'm not certain.
Ivanka says Escher is calling. He wants Noloben back. There he is. He wants to torture Barrow again, I guess. Or experiment on them.
As of the last time we saw him, it may be the other way around. I think
Yeah.
they're finding out how well he survives without skin.
Yeah.
Okay, let's see. Anyway, it is 4 minutes till, so it's time to start talking, I guess.
Well, I'm sending out one last Buddies broadcast, if that's okay.
Okay, no problem. We currently have
That's one reason
25 on the stream. That's not bad.
Awesome. Looks like someone is heading here. Jafe. He's in the Nexus. Minasunda's in the Messengers Pub.
Let's see. Noloben, where are you? There you are. I had asked that earlier, and they said, yeah, they can hear you fine.
What we've got people coming in.
Yeah, what we're not hearing are birds. What happened?
I moved into a house, and they're in a different room.
Oh, you're going to disappoint all their fans.
I know. I mean, I could literally roll their cage in here if they want to hear them badly enough. It's kind of difficult when I call in for court hearings. I used to have to go into my bedroom to call into the courthouse to get away from the bird noise.
Cave woman.
That would tweet. Oh, yeah. Cave woman. But I'm smish. Well, let's see. Let me take one last look at my buddies list and try to herd cats or gather chicks. Whatever metaphor you want to use.
Darlene says that she's going to miss the birds.
Aw. Well, like I said, I could roll them in here, the cage. They're on a rolling stand. I don't know if you want me to them that badly. There's birds in birds in Noloben. Are we going back to Noloben?
Yeah, today's tour is Noloben. So the cat in fact you'll be seeing birds you may have not seen before.
Yes. Sitting up on rocks.
No, not those.
Those? Okay.
There are some birds that were intended for Noloben that didn't make it into Myst 5.
Oh my goodness.
And you will be seeing them today. I should say they made it into Myst 5, but not intact.
Oh dear. I hate to picture what you mean by that. Well, Minasunda's in her Relto. I sent her a PM. Oh, Woolly's in his Relto. And yes, I do spy on people on my buddies list.
I think they'll forgive you.
Let me just send a PM to Woolly, see if we can get him here if he wants.
Potro, you may not be as far off as yet. as all that, because judging from what remains of them. I would not be surprised if Escher hadn't been snacking on them.
Okay, well, I'm going to go ahead and get started.
Mm-hmm.
Welcome, everyone, to today's Cavern Tour. Today will be the 4th installment in Larry's tour of Myst 5 End of Ages. We're all going to be remaining here in the hood, and Larry will be showing videos and photographs on Twitch TV, LWF58. Is there anyone? Well, of course, it doesn't help to ask in voice chat. I think we're all here.
I was about to mention that.
Larry will pause from. Yeah, Larry will pause from time to time to take questions, but feel free to type out questions at any time. You can type them out either in Moolah or on Twitch. I will do my best to switch my sight line to both sections so we can get all your questions. Larry knows everything about everything, so don't be shy in asking questions. If he doesn't know an answer, he'll invent it from scratch. Just kidding. And or he'll say he doesn't know. And I want to give a shout out to some people who I think are new to the tour. There's a Duranda and Murray, and I think Alyssa's been here before, but welcome our tour veterans and our new tourists. Take it away, Larry.
Okay. So, let's see. First things first, I need to actually turn on, I believe it's this one. Yes, there we go. So, we are now in the age of Noloben. Noloben, there's a little bit of a mystery about the name, because in some of the DRC documentation, it's called Surlin. Where that name comes from, I don't know. In fact, I asked Rawa about it, and he didn't know either. In fact, he was unaware that that alternate name actually existed, and it's not in any of his files. Speaking out of character for a moment, Surlin is what the game folder for Noloben is called. And if you were to ever go to one of the shards that has Myst 5 loaded and try to link directly using a super user command, if you were to type that you want to link to Noloben, it wouldn't be able to find it because it's called Surlin when you're linking. However, there is one thing that I was able to find out from Rawa about the name Noloben, and I'll be discussing that later. In any case, Noloben is the age to which Escher fled during the fall of Denis. He claimed it as his personal age after he arrived here. It appears to have been surveyed by the DRC sometime around the year 2003. Douglas Sharper's journal contains the earliest known entry about Escher, who apparently had been found by the DRC. Escher wrote the following entry on May 20th of 2003. There are rumors of a Denis survivor going around here. The DRC is keeping it low-key, but it seems to be pretty reliable. Obviously, I'll be the last to hear, but I've got to find a way to meet him as soon as possible. It was once suspected that Noloben was the home age of the Baro, because of something that Escher said. But it's now known that their real home age is called the Spiral Age. The idea that it was the Baro homeworld was also based on the fact that there are many symbols that they've carved into the rock on the outside of Escher's laboratory. The markings there are not the baroglyphs typically found in the Denis caverns or the Cleft. It's their actual form of writing. Escher, hang on just a sec while I bring up my folder here. This is what Escher
Welcome
had
to my
say about
age, Noloben. When Denis died, I fled here. From death to death. You will see the fingerprints of the creatures everywhere. This was their home, and they did not welcome me. You have unlocked my lab. Impressive. It is safe here. They are afraid. They will not come here. The snake binds them, prevents them from linking. I take no pleasure in what they have endured here, but I had to learn.
Okay, everyone heard that?
I didn't, but it might be because I maybe
Okay.
didn't unmute it in time. Oh, yep,
Yvonne
Wybog
K
heard
says,
it. Never mind.
Yeah. Okay. Good enough. So that was that, and it was that speech by those speeches by Escher, which gave everyone the impression that Noloben was the Baro homeworld, even though it was not. But that does lead to another speculation. If the Baro were there when Escher arrived, were they placed there by another Denis citizen in the past? Was Noloben a world they colonized before they were bound to Denis? Until and unless more information about the Baro is released, those questions remain unanswered. As you saw in, let's see, let me turn off this here, my background picture for today, the age of Noloben is made up of a main island with smaller islands and rock outcropping separated from it by high tide levels. The islands were partially undercut by the sea, forming them into plateaus. Along with the main island, there are a number of small islands and rocks that are probably the remains of peaks from a submarine mountain chain. Okay, and let's see. I need to get back here. There we go. Now I can move. By the way, I mentioned earlier that there was a third type of bird on the island, which is not currently to be found, except for these remains. These three objects that are hanging from this rack are shell-like casings from the backs of those birds. This is why Potru's guess that Escher might have been eating them is not without plausibility.
Those are from bird?
Those are from
think?
birds. Not think, I know.
Oh, I thought they were turtle shells. Interesting.
You will be seeing those birds later on when I get to that part of the tour. Here at the top of the island, there is a giant hollowed-out boulder. Escher's laboratory is inside. Much of the structure is underground and is entered by a long tunnel with rotating doors spaced along it. Escher probably chose to place his laboratory in the cave system because tunnel snakes live there, and the snakes kept the Barrow from entering. The Barrow covered the rock with symbols that are more sophisticated than the petroglyphs they drew for Yisha. Some of it may even be mathematical in nature, although I can't say for sure because no one has interpreted the writing yet. That's partly because there's no Barrow equivalent of a Rosetta Stone that clues might be gleaned from. Let's see, I want to go inside the lab, but going the long way does not appeal at the moment, so I'll cheat. Looking inside Escher's laboratory, you can see that the rock dome visible from outside is just a small part of a much larger space. In fact, if I look downward, you can see how much further down it goes. My avatar is going nuts at the moment.
So is that a naturally occurring boulder that he hollowed out, or was it already hollow? Do we know?
There's no way of knowing that. He never said anything about it at all. And so, for all I know, it could have been naturally hollow, but it seems more likely that he would have done that himself. I wonder why my avatar is wanting to drift like this. I'm going to try going over to the steps. Oops. I wonder if it's because I entered here in fly mode. Let me try. Okay, so yeah, that's better. So yeah, you can see just how far down this boulder goes, and we're just at the bottom of the hollowed space. Given how smooth the floor is, the chances are that he would have hollowed the thing out. On the other hand, the tunnel that leads here, I'm not sure Now this looks a little too smooth to be natural. By the way, I mentioned snakes, so let's go hunting for a couple. They should be fairly easy to find. Here we go. There's a snake hole. You'll see the holes that you see in the ground are snake burrows. There's one. Okay, let's see if I look down. Okay, let's see. By the way, while we're waiting here for another snake to come along, does anyone have any questions about anything I've said so far?
I don't see
snakes.
anybody. Maybe someone will type one. Well, it makes sense too that Escher would have carved the S-shaped path to keep out or to keep in the burrow.
There's evidence for and against it. So yeah. And the cat. One of the things, of course, is that the snakes. We've got sandy patches of ground here with grass that blew in from the outside. As a matter of fact, let's see. That looks like it. That hole looks like it may go to lead to the outside, which would explain how the grass got in here. And so there's both natural and what look like man-made elements to this. So goodness knows that, exactly. Oh yes, there's the obligatory Indiana Jones reference, snakes. Why did it have to be snakes? We don't know if the snakes were venomous or not, because Escher. The only thing that Escher said about them is that they have the ability to keep the burrow from linking. How is not explained. And I was about to go over and look. Oh yeah, I need to get out of this. Let's see, Noloben. Let's move you up to the top. And then look here. Okay, so... Okay, if you look at the stream window, I have a picture of a nice close-up of one of the snakes so that you can see his smiling face. Or at least I think he's smiling. It's kind of hard to tell with snake. Okay. Now, getting back to...
Yeah, I think I've seen both green and red snakes on Noloben.
Just the green ones. I'd never seen... there's... I don't think there are any red ones. Say, I've done a pretty extensive survey of the place, and then so has Anya, who is even better at taking Denis wildlife pictures than I am. And I don't think either one of us has photographed a red one. Anyway, very little of the floor inside the rock is used for anything other than a foundation for the scaffolds and platforms he used as his workspace. What you won't find any sign of here are living quarters. It may be that there's a hidden area in the tunnels that lead to them, perhaps branching off from one of the tunnel nodes that contain the rotating doors. Escher used the laboratory to study the Baro language and their anatomy. As this involved both murder and experimentation on living Baro, even he admitted that it was not something he was proud of. So if we go... Come on up. There we go. Proud or not, though, it didn't stop her from actually doing it. So this board here contains some of the notes that he made while performing his experiments, as well as some other drawings that he made. For instance, in the lower right, there's a little sketch of how one of the mechanisms in the cave works. Up at the top, though, there are a couple of 2 or 3 pictures which show ligaments and musculature from a Baro. In the end, Escher's work paid off when he learned how to preserve a portion of the skin of a living Baro and use that Baro's ability to link at will wherever he wished to go. That gave Escher the same ability to link without books that Yisha had, although Yisha's was a voluntary gift from the Baro. They taught her how to do it and how to make the skin markings that were needed. One of the more horrid aspects of Escher's theft of the Baro ability to link is that he had to remove the skin without the Baro dying. Much of Escher's experimentation must have been to learn how to remove a significant portion of skin without killing the subject. Escher left a number of notes about it, which I just showed you. It is thought that the Baro who was Escher's final test subject not only lived, it became the leader of a group of Baro who hated humanity and sought revenge. Yisha called them the Baro Nekasal, or Twisted Baro, and the one mutated by Escher is believed to be the Baro who would end up killing Wheelie Ingberg. If we look up, you'll see that there is a cage at the top here. And that is where Escher kept the Baro that he was performing experiments on. Since he was flaying their skin off and removing their ability to link by doing so, the bars were enough to keep them confined. For those of you who may not be aware, a Baro's ability to link is not something that they are born with. Instead, they go through a rite of passage into adulthood, and at that time, they are given a number of tattoos, which give them the ability to link. When you see, if you've ever seen a Baro link in the cavern, you'll notice that it reaches up and touches the skin near one of its shoulders. It's touching a tattoo there. And it was that section of skin which Escher took and draped over his own shoulder in order to use the tattoo for linking. Thus, when you see Escher link, you'll notice that he reaches up and touches the same general area on his body.
How hard would it be for you to post a still photo of Escher wearing the skin, or are you going to do that later?
Actually, I don't think I have a picture of that. So unfortunately, that's not something I could easily bring up right. I'd have to basically play the game and then again and then get a screen capture of it.
Okay, Grace.
Yeah. So yeah, that's not something I can do for this tour anyway. This is a hatch in the top of the cage, and this is how he got the Baro in and out of it.
Oh, Potros, I don't know if you saw this. Potros says that as long as the Baro stayed alive, the stolen skin would continue to work. So once the Baro died, is that something you mentioned when I was thinking of something else?
Something like that, yes. The cat. I had mentioned that he needed the skin from a living Baro, so a lot of the time that he spent researching them, he was learning how to keep one alive. The cat after he removed a significant portion of its skin.
Well, that's gruesome.
Yeah, and of course, the Baro that he took the skin from, of course, lost its ability to link. Therefore, the Baro that was taken to that murdered Wheelie Ingberg, whom we think is the one he took the skin from, had to be linked there by a couple of its companions, because it was unable to do so itself. And so yeah, I'm looking at the chat. So yes, Putro is completely right. As long as the Baro stayed alive, the skin would continue to work for him. Duranda is asking, saying, I think he preserved it, possibly creating a kind of leather. Yes, I believe that's the case. However, I'm not positive on that because I don't know how close to its original condition it would have had to remain. The top of the rock is a observation platform that you can use to look over the entire archipelago. Now, I already mentioned the tunnel snakes. The tunnel snakes are the only animal that's restricted to the ground on the main island. It's a green banded snake the Barrow were terrified of. The Denise Zoological Society is the one that dubbed them tunnel snakes, but their burrows can be found outside the cave and tunnels too. As a matter of fact, let's go ahead and get off of here. Let's see. Where? There. Okay. If we head back over to the ladder here, couldn't have done this better if I tried. You can see that right here at the base of the ladder, there are a number of snake burrows. And that helped keep the Barrow away from this section of the cove, or this cove where Escher did things like, I guess, hunting and fishing. Noloben is the nesting grounds for 3 known species of birds. The first type of bird was given the name bluff pelican by the Denise Zoological Society, although, of course, we don't know what they were really called. Let's see if we can go find some, because the birds around here like to nest on the rocks. So, let's see. Okay, no, that's not the pelicans. So let's see if we can find some. By the way, the birds are found all over the edges of the island and the rock outcroppings. as well as on the atop the other islands. They all nest on the ground on these rocks or islands. Okay, so I guess we're going to have to do it this way. Okay. Here we go. Okay. Buff pelicans are sexually dimorphic in their coloration. Both sexes have a white neck and head feathers and black eyes, but the rest of their bodies have other colors. Males mainly have a light gray body and wing feathers, and dark bills with black throat sacs. Females, which we see here, have pinkish-brown body feathers with light brown bills and red-brown throat sacs. Let's see if we can find a male anywhere. I think that they don't hang out with the females, though. Let's go up. If I remember correctly, the males tend to hang out on bachelor rocks. Let's see if we can find one, though. Of course, a lot of the males are going to be up in the air. Let's see, there's another female. Let's go over here. No, that's all of those kind of bird. Okay, so up we go. Figures I come up to fly with the birdies and they all fly away. But maybe it's too shit.
They don't fly in huge circles like they do in the cleft. Like the hawks do in the cleft.
Yep, they sure do. Now where? Oh, I'm too high. Okay. So down. Because I think that was a bachelor group right there. See if we can catch up with some of them. Pesky things. hang on just a sec. Zeke was trying to say hello in chat, and I didn't have much luck getting a hold of him. So, yeah, those are slippery little beggars, aren't they? Well, we tried. So what I will do is get back over to the main island. And then down we go. Okay. Okay, instead of trying to show them live, what I will do here is go over here and bring up my pictures. So, here we go. So this is a picture of one of the male pelicans along with its wing pattern. And here's one of the female, so you can see the difference. The second species of birds that nest on that nest here were called fan-crested gulls by the DZS. Both species nest on the same rocks and islands, so they tend to coexist peacefully. Let's see if I've got a photo of one of them. Oops, too far. Okay, that's not horrible. Let's see if I can bring, yeah. Both species nest in the same way in what appears to be hollows in the soil atop the islands, rather than a constructed nest. Male birds do not seem to be allowed in the nesting areas. Instead, they're usually found resting on the rock outcrops when not flying. So when you see those groups on top of the islands, let's see, over there, those would be mostly females or all female, whereas the ones that are perched on the rocks would be male. The birds catch fish from the sea around the island for food. What appears to be similar to a salmon. I mentioned explorer Inia Defente earlier. She is... I've done a number of pretty good photographs of Denis wildlife in Uru, but she puts me to shame. Let's see. One of the more spectacular pieces it was about the hunting habits of a female pelican here in the age. Let's see if I can get this done right. Okay. So if you're looking at the stream, I've got a photograph up here of a female pelican who is actually on a rock rather than one of the nesting islands. We're going to follow this pelican as she goes through her hunting behavior. Let's see. I should have some notes here about it. So give me a moment. Here we go. So we start off with the female bluff pelican at rest. But then, in this next photograph, you see her getting ready to take off, raising her wings for the first downbeat. Okay. In the next photograph, she's got her wings fully extended and ready to go. And on the downbeat, she's already gaining some serious altitude. Okay, let's see. Once she's actually in the air, she immediately begins climbing for up to the altitude where the these birds like to hunt. Okay. Let's see what's wrong with this picture. Oh, okay. So there, it looks like she's still climbing. Okay. Once she gets up to the level where she feels most comfortable at flying, she looks intently at the water far below her, seeking the telltale glint of light flashing from silvery scales. In this photo, something has caught her eye. As she begins a gentle downward glide as she examines the object that she spotted carefully. Certain that she's found prey, she begins nosing over into a dive, keeping her eyes firmly locked on the target. As she fully commits to the dive, her wings fold back. Oops. How'd I get that? Okay. Okay. And here she is fully committed to the dive. Her wings are pulled in tight to her body as she begins a vertical descent at full speed. Darn it. Even as she descends like a rock, she keeps her eyes glued to the prey and maintains that posture for most of the distance down to the water. Okay, let's see. I need to adjust this. When she's a few yards from the surface, she begins raising her beak into striking position. Let me go ahead and bring that back down. There we go. In moments, she's formed a straight line from beak to tail, ready for the moment of impact with the water. Seconds before impact, let's see, here we go. Her body is streamlined to enter the water with a minimum of sound and shock, her beak poised to break the surface tension of the seawater. Oh, there she is. The moment of truth has arrived, and she's just about to hit the water. Impact, and her beak slices cleanly into the sea with nary a splash. In the blink of an eye later, she's completely submerged with only ripples to show that she passed. Olympic divers can only dream of such a clean entry into the water. A spreading ring of ripples on the surface are the only sign that something's happening below the surface. But we'll go down with her. Her aim was flawless, and she's already caught something in her beak in this picture. Prey firmly trapped, she begins to float back toward the surface. The prey might struggle against its fate, but she has no plans to let it get away. Whoops. As she nears sea level, it's clear to see that she's bagged herself a Noloben salmon. Okay, I need to come down for this one. Okay. Now just below the surface, she prepares to take flight again by raising her wings above water. And this is what it looks like from above the water line. With a powerful downswing of her, oops, come on you. There we go. With a powerful downsweep of her wings, she lifts herself and her prey to the surface in one motion. Once there, she immediately prepares to take to the air again. Flapping her wings and kicking off with her legs gets her aloft in short order. Oh, darn it, I keep double-clicking. Okay. Clear of the water, she begins climbing for air again. And the triumphant hunter returns to her nest, victory in beak. That has to be one of the most. Honestly, I have no idea how Ainia was able to get that particular series of photographs, considering how much. Well, you saw when I tried climbing up to where the birds were, how far above sea level that was. And she tracked that thing all the way down and underwater. And then back again.
That was amazing.
Yeah.
That takes a lot of patience.
Yeah, I get I always look at that sequence of photographs in awe, because I don't know of anyone else who could have done it. Scott Miller was asking, wouldn't diving from that altitude be like slamming into concrete? And the answer is yes and no. First off, the bird's beak is designed to take the impact, but also remember that while she's in a straight dive, she's controlling it. Her wings and feathers are going to provide a little bit of drag, even from the going straight down like that. But yes, real birds do behave like that. So but the point, the main point of it is that when she strikes the water, she's breaking the surface tension with the tip of her beak, and that's enough to soften the impact. Let's see, do I have a photograph of the fish that she was hunting? Good question. Let's find out. Yeah, okay, I do. So, Noloben. I just passed it. Okay. By the way, this is the fish that she was hunting. I've tried identifying that, and like I said, a salmon is the closest thing that I can find to it. And I will pause here. Were there any questions that I missed, Susan?
No, I don't see any.
Okay.
But I'm sorry for the interruption, but I do need to ask Larry something. I have to leave at 12:45 key time. Zeke is in Skype right now. Do you want him to sub for me at that time, or will you be ending before then?
I think we're getting fairly near the end. But we will I think, because it's 12 now, so we got
Yes.
45 minutes. Yeah, I should be able to finish up
Yes.
by then.
Okay, real good. Thank you.
Okay. Now, I did mention that there was a third bird that was native to the age. However, you won't find it while exploring Noloben. And that is because Let's see, where did I do? Here it is. Speaking out of character again for a moment, Noloben began as a project demo which was called Hector's Cove. And if you look at these, of course, in the stream, well, you should all be watching that anyway. Let's see. Here we go. This is the demo of Hector's Cove, where the third bird is found. Okay, and I believe that they're all... yeah, here we go. They're all over here. Of course, some noisy little beggars. Every time I try to find one, they all disappear. Yeah. Typical. Oh, there it is. What happens is that they're very skittish, and when I try to get near one, they run over to the shore and then fly across to that outcropping of brush in the distance. But let's see if we can get... Here's one. Let's see if we can corner it. Haha. I ain't that good. However, not all of the birds that try to fly over to that island make it. The birds themselves give the cove its name. They are called, the DRC called them hectors, for whatever reason. Normally it waddles around on the ground like a penguin, but unlike penguins, it can fly. However, it doesn't appear to like flying very high, and normally flutters clumsily about a yard or two above the sea level. Okay. Now, I'm going to switch out of this again. Okay, let's see, where am I? Here we go.
Scott's
now,
asking, does that happen to a player if they get too close?
No, those there's two of those creatures, one at each of the two areas that the birds like to run to, and neither one of them actually likes lunges for anything other than the birds. If I were to walk over to the shoreline, as a matter of fact, they wouldn't even surface. So what I'm going to do here is get you off for the moment. Okay. So here is a better a still shot of some of the birds, the hectors. And this is the creature that was snacking on them. Let's see if I can get a... oops, wrong one. There we go. So that you can see its size and the way it looks. This is what the animal looks like when it's lurking at the surface, waiting for one of the birds to come along. Now, you noticed in the drawing that it had bony spikes coming off of its fins. It uses those spikes to grab onto the shoreline, and when one of the birds comes along, it pulls itself up using those spikes in order to lunge out and grab the bird. Once it does, then it goes back down. It rotates back off of the ledge and goes back down underwater. So let's go back to Hector's Cove. Let's see. So that one's underwater. Let's go check and see if... there's the other one. Now, something that I was able... actually, hang on for a second. I should have a photograph here. Of one of the birds. Let's see if we can look at that or find it. I know it's got the I've got him in the folder. Okay, so now it's a little hard to see because of how dark it is, but if you look at the backs of the birds in this picture, you'll see those casings that we saw earlier hanging from that rack. And that's the only sign of these birds, of course, that you see in Myst 5. Something I learned just today, though, when I was talking with Rawa about this age, and he didn't remember very much of it, but I asked him about the name Noloben. And what he was able to tell me is that Noloben was the Dene name for these birds. So the age was Noloben was named after the birds. And that was just as Hector's Cove was given that name because that's what the DRC called these birds, was Hector's. Oh yes, the sea animal. Excuse me.
I think somewhere in my computer I downloaded from Myst, from Cyan, some sort of Hector's Code, like prologue.
That's a demo, and that's what I just showed you.
Oh, okay.
So yes, that's
Sorry about that.
I got. Anyone can get that demo and try it out for themselves.
Yeah, I have it. I've never watched it.
Speaking a little bit about the sea creatures, they appear to be called shales. They are much like whales, but have modified front flukes that have bony arcs along their edges, which the animal uses to get a grip on the ground and lift itself out of the water in a rocking motion. As I mentioned before, but I'm getting back to my notes now. So the shale basically parks itself at the water's edge. And when it does, you can see the forward part of the flukes just above the water on either side. Okay, and then I showed you the diagram. Okay, in any case, let's go back to... excuse me, not that. I want this. Okay. And now I need to get back to that screen. The age of Noloben, of course, is made up of islands, and they may not get as much rainfall as the dark clouds overhead suggest. There are no trees, bushes, or shrubs to be found anywhere, not even palm trees. That suggests that there isn't enough waters to support large plants. Instead, the beaches have scattered patches of sparse grasses and a few ferns here and there. The plateaus have much thicker grasses covering their tops, which makes sense because if soil was going to be anywhere, it would be up here. But down here on the sandy soil, we only have tufts of thin grass. And then, let's see. We are here. Oh, so I wind up... Okay. And then I mentioned that there were ferns to be found here and there. In any case, do we have any other questions about anything that I've covered at all during the tour?
Well, did you already answer Keever's question? I think it had to do with...
We were basically is what we were just talking about. The demo Hector's Cove is what I just showed you, and there's no land predator. It's that whale-like creature called a shale, and it's it only goes after the hectors. So the Hector's Cove demo, you can probably look it up by web search. That was released by Eric Anderson a little while back, and it should still be around and available to anyone to download and try out for yourself.
And they're also asking the last 3 Myst Wife tours.
Yes, they
Are
are
they
all
still on
available
YouTube? How long do you keep videos archived on YouTube? Okay.
Indefinitely. They're going to be here until and unless I make a better video of a tour and replace them with it.
Thank you. That's wonderful.
Mm-hmm. Whoops. Okay, and let's see. Looking at it doesn't look. I'm not seeing any other questions. Yeah, that was Susan's phone. That's the records in Chisoprenev talk about the leader of the Mean Barrows is the one that Escher stole skin from. Yeah, that's what we suspect, although it was never actually said outright. But we're pretty sure that the Twisted Barrow leader was the one that he experimented on and stole the skin from. And Susan should hopefully will call back. Sure,
I'm here.
Susan.
I had to take a quick phone call.
Yep, we noticed. That was a very loud and obnoxious phone ringtone.
Yeah, it was bad timing. It's usually I have my mic flipped up to mute myself, but it's bad timing. Sorry about that, guys.
Okay.
It's memorialized on YouTube ad infinitum.
In any case, I don't see any other questions, so this is where we will end today's tour.
Alrighty.
And up on the stream, I now have the list of today's events.
Yes, it looks like we have, well, it's a little blurry for me, is it 1400 Story Night Europe in Sano's Hood, and then another Story Night at 2330 in Sano's Hood. Sometimes the stories are the same and sometimes they're different, so it might be worthwhile to check out both if you can or want to. 1600 Key Time, there you go, it came into view. Karaoke in the new Messenger's Pub.
That number that you see, by the way, is you have to open that up in a music player like iTunes or I guess my mind's going blank.
One of those audio programs.
Yeah.
That I don't know about.
Well, any audio program that can open up a live stream from the internet, you have to put those numbers in, and that is, or go to that in a web browser in order to hear the audio part of the karaoke show.
And here's an important question. Are you holding another tour next month? Are we done with Myst 5, or will you be
Nope.
continuing Myst 5?
Oh, no. We've got... hang on just a minute. Let me take a quick look. How many we have left. Let's see. M5. Here we go. So we just did Noloben, and I'm doing these more or less in alphabetic order. So we've got Relishan, Tagira, and Todelmer to go. No, I did Tagira, didn't I?
Yeah, the icy place?
Yeah. So if I did Tagira
Yes.
already, because it was short, then we still have to cover Relishan and Todelmer. But those will be the
Todelmer's nice.
Yeah, those will be the last two ages as far as Myst 5 goes, and that will be the official end of this season. So we just need to decide after that when the next season will begin.
All right, so our next tour, continuing Myst 5, will be Saturday, April 9th at 11 key time, same place, same channels, and we hope to see you then.
Mm-hmm. Oh, by the way, as you may or may not be aware, the Cavern Tours were originally a project created by Zeke 365, and he may be rejoining us. Has he said for certain one way or the other?
He hasn't said for certain. He was willing to come into Skype today, I know, because he's here, but he has not made any commitments yet.
Oh, okay. If so, then he may be either picking up part-time or full-time. He hasn't said yet, with hosting duties. And since he was the one who created the series, he'd be, of course, very welcome to rejoin us. So everyone give Zeke a hand, because without him, this stuff never would have happened.
Thank you, Zeke. And thank you, Larry, for another incredible tour.
And I'm glad you all enjoyed it, and we will see you again next month. And that is it.
Bye, everyone.
Yeah, that's it. So I will be ending the stream now. And that is